My prediction for PR in 2030 is...
By 2030...
In the next 15 years.
In 2030.
It's already happened to some extent, but clients really expect an agency to show how they can add value in a way that they don't have in-house.
In 2030, everything that a brand does, every story a brand tells will rely on technology. So we may think now that technology is a big part of stories, but by 2030 it will be unavoidable.
It's probably quite likely that technology like Google Glass will take off. So if you consider that Apple brought out a tablet-like device many years ago, and the iPad has only really taken off a couple of years ago, then you could predict that something like Google Glass will take off.
So I think the first way that I think engineering is going to make a big difference to PR is in strategy and measurement. So companies looking not just at the traditional PR goals, but saying what is the problem today and what are realistic KPIs in which to measure our progress towards that.
I believe that information is going to be controlled a lot more by technology. Companies like Google will be able to take 1,000 articles and merge them all into one to get very accurate information.
Taking a leaf from the film Minority Report, one thing that will be commonplace is personalised news. Anything will be tailored to you, which just don't see yet.
I think in 2030 as well, the agency model will look very different. I think you're already seeing an increase in one-to-one communications from kind of agencies to brands through to consumers.
I think / hope that the press release as a sort of means of distributing and getting a story out there should be dead.
Media will be ostensibly digital. So that means you need to convert real-life experiences into online PR opportunities.
My second prediction is that journalists and bloggers will really quite merge, and will be treating them as just media influencers who are kind of equal.
I think data and technology is going to be increasingly important in PR in 2030. I think our industry's contribution to the bottom line will become increasingly studied and considered.
As brands continue to establish themselves as content engines, it's clear that owned and paid is going to be just as important, if not more important, than earned.
The notion of talent is going to change quite a lot in PR. There's going to be a higher demand for technically skilled people who can control where media is going in the direction of it.
More focus on different kinds of amplification. So paid channels particularly, I think will be very important to PR agencies to get more eyeballs to the things they create in future.
One thing won't change, and that's the need for news. So whether that's the latest humanitarian crisis or my particular football team, Cambridge United, winning 3-0, which may not happen, but it's certainly be something people will be interested to read about.